Welcome back, True Seeker. In yesterday's live stream, we covered how Nicole Shanahan, the VP nominee for RFK Jr., said they're thinking about dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump and possibly working to become part of his administration. One day later, RFK Jr. said he will address the nation this coming Friday in Phoenix, Arizona, on the day that Trump is also expected to speak in Arizona. And notice it's the same numerical pattern. In fact, look at how perfect this ritual is with RFK Jr. and Donald Trump. And let's remember that the day he filed his paperwork, April 5th, 2023, I said that day it looked like it was a ritual paying tribute to Trump because he got in the race on 4-5, like Trump's number 45. Of course, this year on April 5th, we had the earthquake on Trump's golf course. But look how perfect this is. Again, if you're new here, gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. There are 4 base ciphers of the English language, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. Thus, every word or phrase will have 4 numerical values. Look how perfectly 3 of the 4 ciphers align with this ritual with RFK and Donald Trump. So yesterday we talked about how they encoded 68. Again, RFK, the father, was killed in 68 while running for president a day after getting the Democratic nomination. This is going down in the time of the DNC as they officially nominate Kamala. Again, a lot of pro-Palestinian protests in Chicago when a Palestinian supposedly killed RFK back in 68, Sirhan. But notice, the emphasis on address the nation, that equals 68, like Donald John Trump, like Phoenix, Arizona. And today, the day that RFK puts out these remarks that he's going to make this address on Friday, 2 days from now, it's 68 days after Trump's birthday. But notice in the base ciphers, in 3 of the 4 ciphers, Donald John Trump equals 68, 220, and 76. RFK's announcement today, 76 days before the November 5th election. Also, from RFK's birthday to the Friday address where he'll be in Arizona at the same time Trump is, it will be the 220th day of his age. Donald John Trump, again, 68, 76, 220. And as we've been saying, Inauguration Day falls on the 220th day of Trump's age. Of course, he's experienced that back in 2017. So, all mainstream media reporting on the same thing today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will make a speech in Phoenix on Friday. His campaign announced as the independent presidential candidate considers whether to drop out of the race and endorse former President Donald Trump. Remember, they were removed from the ballot in New York, Trump's state, and there's been growing speculation that because of that move, RFK is going to be out of here. And again, they were never going to let RFK Jr. win. Like we said, he got in the race in a major ritual that was pointing to Trump. We said then that day it was pointing to Trump in some kind of assassination story. Lo and behold, on the 195th day of the year, remember Robert Kennedy equals 195, Trump has the assassination scare 45 days after JFK's birthday anniversary. And then RFK finally gets Secret Service. And again, the Secret Service was created the day that Lincoln was shot on 14/4 back in 1865, like how RFK died at 1:44 a.m. and JFK died 144 days after meeting with the Pope, and goes with RFK officially getting in the race 144 days after the Superior General's birthday back on April 5th, 2023, and it goes with the election this year, November 5th being 144 days after Trump's birthday. And we covered how they encoded the 144 yesterday and what Nicole Shanahan said. Isn't it amazing is how the same number patterns just over and over? But it goes on. As the independent presidential candidate considers whether to drop out of the race and endorse former President Donald Trump. The campaign said Kennedy will address the nation Friday morning without sharing details of what he will be speaking about. CNN has asked the campaign for additional information. Kennedy's speech will come days after his running mate, Nicole Shanahan, said in a podcast interview on Tuesday that the campaign is considering whether to join forces, remember that phrase equals 144, with Trump to prevent the risk of Vice President Kamala Harris winning the election. There's a few other things here that are interesting, but again, I mean, just how perfect it all is. And it just ties in perfectly with him getting in the race officially on 4-5. Now getting behind number 45. And again, it's just been one joke after the next with RFK Jr., including naming Nicole Shanahan the VP nominee the day the bridge collapsed in Baltimore on Pelosi's birthday, when the worst bridge collapse in U.S. history is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, and that's where she's from. The Tacoma Narrows area. Again, people need to wake up to the puppet show. Yeah, you might love RFK Jr.'s rhetoric compared to, say, the Donald or Kamala. And yes, his rhetoric, I mean, to anyone who has a brain, is a million times better. But they're all Jesuits. They're all in the puppet show. They're all playing their part. And what people need to understand is these selections are not legitimate, and no one should be participating in them. And if RFK Jr. was really about it, he'd be saying that exact thing. He'll only take you so far, like the rest of these gatekeepers. Till next time, Truth Seeker.